15th August, 1946. Program. Chinnaswami, the ashram manager, went to Madurai about a month ago, traveled to Madras from there. T.K. Doraswami Iyer, who came from Madras, placed in Bhagavan's hands a program for the Golden Jubilee celebrations planned for the 1st of September. Drawn up in consultation with prominent people in Madras, and stood aside reverentially. The details of the proposed program, beginning at 7 in the morning and lasting till 7 in the evening, were mentioned therein. High Court judges and a number of eminent people were fixed up as speakers. Suri Subramanya Iyer and Budalur Krishnamurthy Sastri's music performance and very many other items were in the program. After reading it carefully, Bhagavan said with a smile, "Oh, what a crowded program. Anyway, why should I worry? Let them do what they like. It is enough if I am given some time to go out. It is stated that all these big people will deliver lectures. What about? What is there to speak about? That which is Muna, silence. How can silence be explained in words? In English, in Sanskrit, in Tamil, in Telugu. Oh, what an array of languages. Eminent people will speak in so many languages. All right, why should I bother? It is enough if I am not asked to speak." That devotee respectfully and with folded hands submitted that if Bhagavan desired that any of the items should be omitted, it would be done. And he said, "Oh, I see. Have I asked for any of these items, so that I could now object to any one of them? Do what you like. It is all a series of lectures. I will sit like this on the sofa. You may do whatever you like." Bhagavan said with a smile. "Yes, Swami, it is true. Who will be able to speak boldly in the presence of Bhagavan? Even so, all this is merely to express our joy at this great fortune we are privileged to have." So saying, the devotee bowed before Bhagavan and went away. 16th August, 1946. An unknown devotee. Amongst the letters received by the ashram today, brother, there was one in English from an unknown devotee from Czechoslovakia. Seeing it, Bhagavan affectionately told us all about it and had it read out in the hall. The gist of it is, though my body is actually at a great distance from Arunachala, it is at the feet of Bhagavan from a spiritual viewpoint. I believe that 50 years will be completed by this 1st of September, from the time when young Ramana reached Tiruvannamalai. I seek your permission to celebrate the occasion in the belief that it is the real birthday of Bhagavan. I shall celebrate the festival with an endeavor to submerge my mind in the dust of the feet of Bhagavan, with limitless devotion, faith, and regard, and with my heart dwelling on Bhagavan's voice. While all of us were expressing our delight on hearing the contents of that letter, Bhagavan said with a face radiant with benevolence, "We do not know who he is and what his name and his native place are. He never came here. How has he managed to know that it is full 50 years since I came here? He has written a letter full of devotion. From what he has written, it looks as if he has read about my life and understood it. Devotees have been looking forward to an article from Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, but it has not been received so far. If received, it is the intention of these people to print it as the very first article. When S. Doraswami was asked, he said, "Oh no, I cannot do it. I prefer to be silent." D.S. Sastri also said the same thing. This letter has come unexpectedly. That is how things happen. These people are awaiting articles from others, especially from Dr. S. Radhakrishnan. See the peculiarity? Where is Czechoslovakia and where is Tiruvannamalai? What are we to say when a person who has never seen me has written thus? August 1946. The one letter and the one imperishable. A few days ago, some Gujaratis who had come from Bombay purchased some Ashram books and Bhagavan's photos, and showing them to Bhagavan, requested him to write his name on the books. "What name should I write?" asked Bhagavan. "Your name," said they. "What name have I?" said Bhagavan. "Your name is Ramana Maharshi, is it not?" Bhagavan said smilingly, "Somebody said so. Really, what is a name or a native place for me? I could write only if I had a name." The Gujaratis went away quietly without saying anything further. In January 1945, you remember, brother, that you sent your book on banking with a request that Bhagavan might be pleased to write in it the word Om or Shri and return it to you. And Bhagavan declined to do so. Instead, he gave me a piece of paper on which he wrote a Telugu translation of a verse that he had written long back in Tamil. And it had happened that a Soma Sundaraswami made a similar request at that time. When I sent that slip of paper to you, you took it as spiritual instruction, a precept from Bhagavan, and were overjoyed. Subsequently, he made some slight alterations therein. Later on, Bhagavan translated it into Sanskrit as a sloka at the request of Marunganar. And it is as follows: "The one imperishable, which is in the heart at all times, is self-luminous." How to write it? I was reminded of all this when the Gujaratis made a similar request today and got a refusal. About 10 months ago, Pantu Lakshman Narayan Sastri, Telugu pundit of Maharaja's College, came here. After praising Bhagavan with verses composed extemporarily, he appealed to Bhagavan, saying, "Please let me have something to commemorate this event and bless this poor soul." And Bhagavan asked, "What shall I give?" "Anything you please, just a letter by way of spiritual instruction." And Bhagavan said, "How can I give that which is a letter?" And so saying, he looked at me, and I said, "It will perhaps do if you tell him about the sloka." And the Sastri asked, "What is that sloka?" I read out that sloka. Where is the Dwipada? Asked Bhagavan. I read that out too. The Sastri was overjoyed as if he had got a great treasure, and copied both the sloka and the Dwipada. When I told him about the circumstances under which those two were written, he felt very happy and went away after bowing before Bhagavan. I remembered all this when Bhagavan was saying to the Gujaratis, "What is a name or a native place for me?" Not only this, I was reminded of a song which Mother used to sing while engaged in her domestic work, the meaning of which is somewhat as follows. Ramanam is the wide universe which has no name or body or work. It has a luster surpassing the moon, the sun, and the fire. Ramana's name also is just like that. August 19, 1946. Contentment. Bhagavan told Raja Gopalayer to bind into the form of books the 4 copies of proofs of the Tamil work Chatra Rimsat, which had been recently received from the printing press. By the time I went there in the afternoon at 2:30, the books were ready. Only the outer cover had to be put on. Showing the copies to the people around, Bhagavan said laughingly to the Vaikunthavas who were by his side, "See, if we make good use of these proofs, we will have 4 more copies of the book. How else could we get 4 copies? Who would give them to us? We should have to buy them at the bookstall. Where would we get the money?" We were all amused, and the Vaikunthavas laughed. "Why do you laugh? Am I doing a job and earning a salary of several hundred every month? Or am I doing business and earning lakhs? Where should I get money? What independence have I? If I am thirsty, I must ask you for water. If I went to the kitchen instead and asked, they would say, 'Oh, this Swami has started exercising authority over us.' I have to keep my mouth shut. What independence have I?" said Bhagavan. What other intention can he have than to administer a mild rebuke to all when he talks like this, though he is independent of everything in this world? Not only this, we always act freely according to our wishes. We ask for this and for that and become enslaved to desires. We achieve our desires by asking or ordering. Bhagavan depreciates not only the use of authority in such matters, but even obtaining such things by asking. There was another instance, brother. 2 or 3 years ago, as I entered the hall one morning, Bhagavan was saying as follows in reply to several questions which Krishna Swami was asking. When I was in Virupaksha cave, Sundaresa Iyer used to go out into the town for bhiksha and bring us food. At times there used to be no curry or chutney. People to eat were many, while the food obtained was limited. What were we to do? I used to mix it into paste and pour hot water over it to make it like gruel, and then give a glassful to each, and take one myself. Sometimes we all used to feel that it would be better if we had at least some salt to mix with it. But where was the money to buy salt? We should have had to ask someone for it. If once we begin to ask for salt, we would feel like asking for dal. And when we ask for dal, we would feel like asking for payasam, and so on. So we felt that we should not ask for anything and swallowed the gruel as it was. We used to feel extremely happy over such diet. As the food was sattvic, without spices of any kind, and there was not even salt in it, not only was it healthy for this body, but there was also great peace for the mind. And I asked Bhagavan, is salt also one of those things that stimulates Raja Guna, that is, passion? Yes, what doubt is there? Is it not said so in one of the books? Wait, I will look it up and tell you. Isn't it enough if Bhagavan says so? Why need a book? I said. Not only do we not give up salt, but we always feel that chilies also are necessary for taste. That is how we have our rules and regulations about our eating habits. Great souls eat to live and serve the world, while we live to eat. That is the difference. If we eat to live, there is no need to think of taste. If we live to eat, the tastes are limitless. And for this purpose, we undergo ever so many trials and tribulations. August 19th, 1946. Atma Padakshina, going around the self. One morning last May, Sundaresa Iyer, who used to bring food for Bhagavan while in Virupaksha cave by going about begging, came and bowed before him. Bhagavan asked him, "Did you go round the hill by way of Pradakshina?" "No," said the devotee. Looking at me, Bhagavan said, "Last night, when people were going out for Giri Pradakshina, because of the moonlight, he also started to go, but he felt he could not complete the round. When they were starting out after telling me, he went around me quickly. When I asked him why he did so, Sundaresa Iyer said, 'I am afraid I cannot go round the hill, so I have gone round Bhagavan.' Go round yourself. That will be Atma Padakshina." So saying, Bhagavan began laughing. It means that he has done what Vinayaka once did, said one devotee. "What is that story?" asked another devotee. Then Bhagavan began telling it, saying, "Once upon a time, Lord Parameshwara wanted to teach a lesson to his son, Lord Subramanya, who fancied himself to be a great sage. So Parameshwara sat on top of Mount Kailasa with Parvati, with the fruit in his hand. Seeing the fruit, both Ganapati and Subramanya asked their father, Parameshwara, for it. Then Ishwara said that he would give the fruit to whoever of them got back first after going round the whole world. With self-confidence and pride that he would win the race, Subramanya started immediately riding on his favorite mount, the peacock, and began going at a fast pace, frequently looking behind to assure himself that his elder brother Ganapati was not following. What could poor Ganapati do? With his huge belly, his vahanam, his mount, was, after all, a mouse, so he thought it was no good competing with Subramanya in the race around the world, and went around Parvati and Parameshwara, bowed before them, and claimed the reward. When they asked him whether he had gone round the world, he said, "All the worlds are contained within you. So if I go round you, it is as good as going round the whole world." Pleased with his reply, Parameshwara gave him the fruit, and Ganapati sat there eating it. In full confidence that he would be the winner, Subramanya finished going round the world and arrived at the starting point, but found Ganapati seated before Parvati and Parameshwara eating the fruit. When he asked Parameshwara to give him the fruit for winning the race, Ishwara said, "There it is. Your elder brother is eating it." When he asked his father how that could be fair, Ishwara explained to him all that had happened. Subramanya then realized his vanity in thinking that he was a great sage, and bowed before his parents and asked to be pardoned. That is the story. The significance is that the ego, which goes round like a whirlwind, must get destroyed and must get absorbed in Atma. That is Atma Pradakshina, said Bhagavan.